Hey, hey, yeah.
Welcome to the Selective TV channel. My name is
Mhm.
Selebo. Basically, the man who's been in the background. I'm the producer slash editor slash director of the channel. And I'm standing in for Wase today. Um, and with me, I have my president, Dade Beats. I don't know where the nickname Beats come from, but what like and then like the co-host Mzu. Welcome, gentlemen.
Well, thank you, brother.
No, that did you, Lim. So thank you guys for having me.
So I'm just gonna shoot with just asking Mr. President the reason why ke bitsa le beats into Mr. President, like from the first day ke mokopana le ene, like I think when we met onole like SRC, not SRC, like prefect at your school.
Yeah, prefect, yeah, CBC, yeah.
Yeah, and then like from there, like I could see like the leadership qualities that he has, or like I saw it like we have like a leader here, somebody who can like be the future president of the country. So yeah, that's why I call Beats Mr. President. And basically, yes,
So,
you can just intro yourself, Mr. President.
Okay. I think I'm gonna try to keep it short, but short intro about me. Obviously, the name is Thabiso Bohlale, born and bred in Bloemfontein, City of Roses, what I call the country's heartbeat, a lover of Christ, and a lover of life and a lover of people. Besides that, day to day, one is just a corporate lawyer working in compliance and risk, now based in Joburg. I think on a lighter note, what I enjoy doing, obviously, is that I enjoy cooking. So that goes without saying that obviously I would enjoy watching MasterChef and any alike shows that would show people's top-notch culinary skills.
Okay. Yeah,
right,
basically,
brother.
yeah, you can shoot away Mzu.
All right. Well, I don't know. This is our first time actually, like really, talking, right?
Mm.
So tell us, how was when you got invited to selective um conversation, selective TV? What was the first thing that came to mind?
So you're saying that when I got the invitation to be on the show today,
The show, yeah, was the
I
first
think
thing that.
I think first thing that came to mind is what's happening now and why me and why at this time
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Literally, yeah.
So did you get the answer?
No, I got the answer because I asked you for a bit of an example, and he gave me an example as to what the flow normally is in the show, and I think that kind of gave me a direction. But obviously, then the show wouldn't necessarily be the same for every single person that you guys
Yeah.
invite. But I think with
Yeah.
this explanation, I kind of knew what to expect.
All right. So like with that said, what are the common questions that people ask you? Like when someone when people first meet you, what are the common questions that people ask you?
Aside of from what do you do, what do you enjoy, I think then sometimes people obviously would engage on the current affairs of that time. So if for some other reason we were allowed to go out right now, I'm pretty sure that the average person probably ask, what's my take on the lockdown and what's my take on the impact that it has on the economy. and on the country's climate, looking at the system of politics, and maybe partly at our legal system as well. I think the questions would be around those three spheres of life. So it could be part about the country's economy, political system, and also our legal system, and how this lockdown has had an effect on these three industries.
And how would you normally respond to that? Like with obviously the current affairs right now, what is your general intake?
My intake is that I think our president was quick to act, which is a very good thing, and I think we should all commend him for taking the stance that he took and when he took it, because obviously that in itself has had a very positive result. So that should be commended at all times. Furthermore, as well, then I want to believe that he took that stance after numerous consultations. You would see that normally before he gives out his bi-weekly speeches on national TV, I think normally behind closed doors they would have a number of discussions and consultations with the various ministers and every other stakeholder involved, so that whatever motion gets passed in that meeting, that conclusion and decision actually reflects the different stakeholders' interests in society. If I bring it to a point of our legal system, shortly after it was announced that we would be going into lockdown, our Chief Justice Mogoeng came in and he said himself that the courts will be operating within a certain capacity. So not every motion or case can be brought to court, but only urgent matters that fell within a certain ambit. Now that obviously in itself should be commended as well, that Mogoeng took that stance when he took it for the safety of the citizens, but more so as well to allow some kind of continuation within the judiciary. Then three, obviously, I think we should all know this one. Coming to the economy, if we're looking at the economy, obviously it has had a very negative impact on the economy. But I think the government has tried to find some way to curb the impact that COVID has had on the country's economy. One example would be lowering the interest rates. Now, literally, that puts money back into our pockets, and without that be said as well, obviously, then that would translate to us having a bit of more buying power. And with that being said, we then put back more money into the economy. So that's just one of the ways that the government has tried to mitigate the impact on the economy. I think as a point of closure to the question, we could also refer to the grants being given and the relief funds being given from the government and obviously from the banks as well, who came on board as well to assist their clients, because right now we are all in a territory that we've never been in. And I think every stakeholder that's come on board should be commended.
I would like to, like you said, that before the president takes a decision, he normally consult with a specific group of leaders or people that will help him into making the right decisions that will obviously help the state of the country, right? With regards to, I'm a salesperson, right? I work at a appliance shop, right? So now, we opened on Friday. When we opened, we were told that we'll sell computers as they are essentials. We'll sell routers, small appliances, microwaves, and two-plate stoves and whatnot. But my what I found confusing, or what I was confused with, was that you can buy a two-plate stove, but you can't buy like a normal stove. You can't buy a TV. It's not regarded as an essential. you can't buy a fridge as not regarded as an essential. You also can't buy even small radios, for you to listen to news and whatnot. I found that very confusing, and I was actually shocked. That the first thing that I asked myself, how did they come to this decision, and who were the people that that actually decided on this, that you can buy food but you can't buy a fridge, you can buy pots but you can't buy a stove. So those are some of the things that actually confused me. What is your take on that?
So I think on that, obviously different appliances have different uses. So if you're looking at a stove, I take it, maybe we're looking at a fancy stove, probably with 4 plates and an oven. Obviously, I think then that stove, obviously, for that stove to be installed into your house, you would need a person who is actually authorized. So I think the government probably thought that if you can allow such stoves to be sold, you would have to give some leeway as well for that stove's installation. Now, that's likely to cause maybe a slight increase in the volumes of maybe traffic, whether it be traffic on the road, probably minimal. But if you're looking at the traffic into the complexes or into the estates, that might be increased. Even if you're looking at traffic into a person's private household, where the house is a freestanding house. I mean, if I'm now a person who's going to install this appliance into your house, but at the same time, I'm also, let's say, enough an example, that I'm also your cousin, who's to say that I'm actually there to install the stove as opposed to me just visiting? So I think putting in those barriers was to curb the movement of people and to confine us to a certain way of operating. So if you get a 2-plate stove, obviously, if you're buying a 2-plate stove, there's a higher chance that you're buying it because you need it to cook, because maybe your stove, for some other reason, is broken. With the fridge, maybe it's a different story, but I think if we look back to the initial lockdown for 21 days, there were a few complaints about why is the government not allowing stores to sell newborn baby clothing. And shortly after those complaints were heard, the government took a step to say that, you know what, perhaps this regulation didn't make much sense. Let's amend it. So I think similarly as well, should the public have a huge amount of dissatisfaction with regards to the non-selling of fridges and the non-selling of certain stoves, perhaps then it's something that we should raise with the government. More so as well, I think last week, before we went on to level 4, we were given a time frame to actually give in our recommendations as to what we want to be implemented into level 4. Looking at obviously the framework that we were given to work with. So I think the government has also tried to bring us into play as well, to involve us as much as they could. Hence, right now you can buy a cell phone and a laptop because it's deemed to be an ITC appliance that is necessary for your personal use and probably for your work and business use as well.
Okay, fair enough. Well, to a certain, for me personally, to a certain extent, there's things, or rather such, they don't really make sense. But I guess you just have to respect, the laws and the regulations that have been put in place. Not everyone has to understand. Not everyone will understand, and not everyone won't understand. But let's talk about you, right? For someone who met you 5 years ago, who would they come across?
5 years ago?
No, let's take it even further back. Like
Okay.
because what we normally do here on this channel is like we check like people's social media timelines.
Mhm.
So as I was going through like your timeline, like I went like way back in the days. I don't know if
When
I
you
should
was a chef.
say not even the chef days, because like he said just now, he likes like Master Chef and stuff. Like
Yeah.
way back, like there's a picture I saw of like you were with Bohlale, Dr. Titsi. Like it was way back, like school days. And there's another
Yeah.
one like I saw Onale, yeah, your friend Onale Tapelo, Grahamstown. So
Mhm.
and adding on to that, basically, like from like what would you say to the beats back then, um, um compared to like what would you say to the beats wakana kwa you? Because like now the impression that I had when I met you the first time, like I saw somebody who had like everything all together, like so yeah, taking
And
it,
Mr. Lee,
yeah.
I think we're just trying. Yeah, I think we're just trying. I don't think we have it all together. I think we're just trying, and it's just by the grace of God that it would appear that we have it all together. But I think we're just trying. I don't think we have it all together yet. I think we're just trying, and by God's grace, I believe that we'll have it all together. But if I had to talk to the beats 5 years ago and the beats in high school, I would just say to him, just continue being yourself. I don't think I would have done anything different if I was given the chance to redo certain things. And the reason I say this is because as soon as I say that I would have done something different, it means that where I am today, essentially, I would not be here today then. So essentially, I would be almost a completely different person, basically. That's my concern with having to say if I was to redo something. But to the younger version of me, I say just do you, continue to be true to yourself. If I was to give him a piece of advice, I think the one thing would be to just enjoy the moment. Because I think sometimes the one pressure that we put on ourselves as young people and trying to get all things together is to always think about the future and how your actions of today impact your future. As much as that's a good thing, I think if that thing is overdone, it can make you overly cautious of doing certain things. Perhaps it's not a bad thing, but I think it can actually cause you to miss out on certain fun moments, perhaps. But I wouldn't do if I was given a second chance to redo certain things. I would do them the exact same way. So my advice to
You
him would
wouldn't.
be enjoy life and to always just be in the moment. I think it's something that I've learned over the past few years that I live obviously with the future in mind, but I'm so conscious of just being in the present, but more so I'm so conscious of enjoying the present.
Yeah, and but by the
That's
way,
actually good.
sorry Mzu, I wanted to find out nickname yeah beats like I said earlier, or where does the nickname come from? Were you like a beat maker or what?
I was a DJ. I was a
Oh,
DJ. So
okay.
before moving to CBC, I was in Brebner, and the one day I think Brebner had a let's call it a disco basically at the hostel, and I saw Mato playing there. I thought to myself, I want to do that. So I took the year basically to save my money, so I cut going to the mall. I'll save some my lunch money as well, and eventually I saved up enough money to actually be able to buy speakers and an amplifier. And
How old were
then,
you?
I'll tell you
What
what,
year was it?
looking at 14, yeah, 14 then, 14.
Sure.
Yeah, so
And
14.
And you already knew, for me to get this, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to go about it. That's good.
Literally, yeah. I
So
think
you've
actually how
always been slick.
so Lucia, I just said I'm gonna save this money. You save pocket money, you're gonna cut more trips, you're gonna save more trips as well. And when one did go to the mall, obviously back then I think taxi was about what, six rand or somewhere there. I'm not sure how much it was, but instead of catching two taxis, so when one got to the taxi rank, I would walk then from the taxi rank to the mall then
To
essentially.
the mall.
And obviously I saved, that's how I also saved up money as well then. So after buying the speakers and the amplifier, my parents came on board as well. Then they helped me to buy my mixer. And obviously then after that year, then I had my full equipment. I was ready to go. And I think one other key thing was that they were quite critical as well in helping me move around as well. So my father would drive me to the parties that I'll be DJing at. So if I'm DJing at your party, he would drive me there with my equipment, drop me off there, and pick me up at 10 p.m. or at 11 p.m. whenever the party would end. Obviously, it was high school. The parties generally ended before midnight. If I was playing at a Sanka, at a girls' school, I was playing at a social. I think we're all from Bloom, so therefore we know that St. Michael's and Eunice would have some socials. So if St. Michael's invites me to come and play there, I'll play there as well. And obviously, one also got paid for these gigs as well. So that's.
What's the biggest check you got?
I think then I was about maybe like 350. No, 350.
That was a lot, yeah.
I mean, it was a lot. I think that could actually buy
That was a lot of money.
Yes, but I think at that time there was a time as well I wanted to buy myself a pair of Fat Farm sneakers, and I think they were going for $599, if I remember correctly. These nice green and white Fat Farm sneakers. So with 2 gigs in the bag, I could buy those.
I mean,
you know. But just to wrap up this question, I think the name then. So it was a DJ thing, but the name actually came from me just thinking about having this nice name with a big impact that maybe that will stand the test of time, perhaps. Should the DJ thing go further? In high school, they were given a chance to write your own speech, basically, with any topic. I think then there was either a Metro ad or a Sprite ad. This guy beatboxing on the ad, and I thought to myself, B sounds like a good name, because I think it was something like the beat that beats the heartbeat of Africa, something like that. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, sounds deep enough, sounds deep enough. So I took it, and then it stuck.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And do people still call you Beat, or they call you by your?
People call
me that know you from the days.
Yeah, people that know me from the days. Yes.
So some of those people, they're still like a part of your life.
Oh, definitely. So
they call you Advocate Beats, or who do they call you?
They just call me Beats, They just call me Beats, man. I call me Beats. They call me Beats. I think maybe only a few of the guys who are at church, maybe they might change the beats up a bit, but the guys that I was in high school with in my class, it's just Beats, man. It's Beats. That's it. Yeah.
So you mentioned something very unique. For lack of a better word, unique. How important have relationships, and what role have relationships played in your life? To where you are right now. Like earlier on, I asked if you were to look back, would you be proud? And you said yes. You're actually proud of the person that you were, and that person contributed so much to the person that you are today. So you are thankful to the old beats, because the beats then made you the beat that you are right now. You are Advocate because of beats, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So how have relationships, friendships, not much about girlfriend, boyfriend, but that as well, your relationship with the parents, church, classmates to colleagues right now, how have they contributed to the person that you are today?
Okay.
Before you answer that, Mr. President, I also wanted to add to that, Hore, since you were the DJ, were you popular with the ladies back then?
Man, I tell you, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I mean,
Of course you wouldn't.
I have to go to the guys from my high school class. Maybe Tapela would be in a better position to answer that, perhaps. You know. But guys, I'm a corporate lawyer, man. I'm a corporate lawyer. So I'm saying this not to take away anything from anybody who's an advocate by profession. I know there's always a big hoo-ha about what is an advocate and what is a lawyer and what is the difference and what do you guys do all in the profession. But
yeah,
I don't take anything away from them. I'm a corporate lawyer. But nonetheless, I think relationships play a very big part in that. And it goes down to, I think, a person also being very intentional about who they choose to hang around and who they choose to link up with, basically. So from high school, there are certain lines that I refuse to cross, and and for that mindset, I credit it to my parents, basically, and obviously then they raised me in the ways of the Lord, basically. But more so as well, I think we also have an open line of communication. So the first relationship I would credit is my relationship with Christ. Secondly, I'll say my relationship with my parents. And then as a third and fourth and fifth point, I'd say my relationships with my friends and my classmates and my colleagues. I think I've been quite selective in choosing who I hang around with. Essentially, somewhere, somehow, that will impact you, be it negative or be it positive. And in a similar way as well, if I look back as well right now to the guys that I'm still in touch with, a lot of these guys are doing quite well. They're doing quite well for themselves, be it that they're doing quite well in their career, or be it that some of them have gotten married and now they're getting kids coming along now. But for some reason, we've just managed to keep this brotherhood together. So if you're looking at my friends from high school and tertiary, there's a few of them that are still in my life, but I think it's as a result of just birds of a feather flocking together.
yeah,
I think you can tell within the first 5-10 minutes of talking to a person whether you guys can actually be acquaintances and maybe even go further to be friends. And it's not always an issue based on religion or an issue based on profession, but it's simply an issue based on your principles and how you guys choose to live life and how you guys perceive life as a whole. So if you are a person who is a pessimist, there's a very high chance that you and I will not be the best of friends, because I see myself as being a very optimistic person.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think in a nutshell, the key thing is just that birds of a feather flock together, and I think I've been very intentional about choosing the friends that I want to have around. Because going further as well, these are the very same friends that you will somehow introduce to your family. These are the very same friends that you would introduce to your wife and your kids in the future, essentially. And it all begins with you being selective with your space and with your time as well.
Okay. So how do you choose friends? Like, what qualities do you look at? Because not that like you go out, you went to work looking for friends, you went to church looking for friends, you went to school looking for friends. You know what I mean? There are good people that you would find, this person is actually a good person, but not for me. You know what I mean? So what are the qualities that you actually look at? Find that there are people that are very optimistic, but you don't click that much, you know. And not to say there's anything wrong with them, there's anything bad with them. It's just that you just don't click with them to the level at which you click with those that you click with. You know what I mean? So what do you look at? What are the qualities that you look at? And how long does it take for you to actually say, you know what, this is actually my nigga?
Sorry, Mr. President, because
Yes,
we
sir.
basically have like 2 minutes left, and
Are you serious?
to basically have a conversation with this limited amount of time on this app, it's a bit challenging. Maybe
Okay.
you can just answer that and also give closing words. But I know like it's a limited time because now I see it's like 2 minutes 30 seconds left. So just in closing, you can answer that question. And I just wanna just to finish off, just to thank you for the time that you availed in your busy schedule. I know you've been working from home, so I just wanna thank you.
So I'm guessing I've probably about a minute and a half to go.
Yeah.
First and foremost, thank you, gentlemen, for inviting me. I'm truly humbled, truly honored that you guys found me worthy to be a guest on your show. Thank you very much. Hope to do it again soon. What I look for in friends, I look at the heart. So the heart towards me, the heart towards people as well. Because like I said, I'm a people's person. If you have a pure heart, that you have a pure heart towards me. Now, that in itself translates to you having pure intentions about me as a person as well. So essentially, as a friend, you are a person that I can build with. You are a person that I can have deep discussions with about various issues around the world, or even personal issues in my life, without fear of being judged. But with the knowledge that this person has a super mind, but this person is actually in a position to actually create a safe space for me. So the key thing is just having a pure heart. That's the key thing. In closing, to whoever sees this,
Well, now you can close. It's fine.
Nothing. To whoever sees this, we'll make it out of lockdown, and the economy will be strengthened again. We will rebuild this nation. We will rebuild as a human race.
Yeah. Well, brother, thank you so much for spending your time. Like Bohlale said, we really appreciate your words of wisdom, pouring out your heart, you know, to us and to the many thousands of people that will be watching this. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, brother. Have a good one.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Mr. President.
Hey.